Hello, I want to welcome everybody to Circuit Analysis 1 class at Cincinnati State Technical and Community College. My name is Professor Ron Singleton, and I'll be your instructor for the summer semester, which for us this time will be 10 weeks. I wanted to make this welcome video because I know for some of you it's your first time attending college, or at least your first time in a EET class, Electrical Engineering Technology class. So I wanted to go over a few things with you that will be important to the course. You want to make sure you can log into Blackboard. We use the Blackboard system at Cincinnati State. And so what you see on your screen now is the Cincinnati State website. You will go to that website, and then you should see a link over on the right that you can connect to. Use that to connect to Blackboard. So me as a professor, this is what my Blackboard looks like. I'm not sure what yours looks like, but it should be similar to this. Some kind of way you should be able to log in. So I'm going to log in. Now my screen is going to look a little bit different than yours, because I am playing the role of an instructor. And so I'll just navigate over here into our course, which wasn't available until just a few minutes ago. I had a few people email me or text me and say they couldn't see the course, so I made that available now. So I'm gonna go into our course, which is right here, and I'm going to, I have the ability to set this up as if I were a student, so it looks more like what you would see. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to enter the student view, and this is probably what your Blackboard looks like. So here you have an announcement link. We'll use that a lot. Discussion board we may or may not use. This we'll use a lot. Blackboard Collaborate. That's the way we'll connect during our video lecture, and so that's important. And the other important link here is this course documents. So let me go to course documents. If you click on that, you'll see a copy of the syllabus, and then you'll see the modules. And I'll talk about the syllabus first. Let me bring that up. All right. So again, I'm Ron Singleton. You can call me Ron. I have a number here. I do not have my Cincinnati State number since we're doing this by remote. I won't be on campus. So I do have a number here that you can use to text me. You can actually call that number, but if you're familiar with Google Voice, that's the system I use. I do not have a cell phone. So ideally what you would do if you want to get a hold to me, you can text that number. Just say your name, you're a Cincinnati State student, and then you can proceed with your message. That's probably the best way to get a hold to me, is to text me, because I'm always on the computer or in close proximity to a computer. So that'll get you the fastest response. You can also email me at Cincinnati State. So here's the email. If you send me an email, I will see it, but I don't check I'm not on my email all the time, so you won't get a quick response, but you will at some point get a response. Now, speaking of email, please do not email me any assignments. Some of your assignments will be time-stamped. In other words, there'll be a link where you can turn in work to me, and I've had students in the past, some of the links are timed, and what I mean by that is they'll be available for a specific amount of time. When your due date is passed, the link will disappear and you will not be able to submit work. You won't be able to turn in your work. And so what I've had students do in the past is when the link disappears, they'll email me the work and then they'll consider it turned in. I won't accept that any work by email. Anything that you send me must be uploaded through Blackboard, and if you miss the due date, you have to take a 0 for that particular assignment. So it's important that you realize two things. It's important that you realize and understand when assignments are due, and it's important to understand that I will not accept anything by email. If you email me something, please do not consider it turned in. Even if you don't receive a response from me, you won't get any credit for it unless you submit it through Blackboard or whatever channel we set up for the submission. However, there will be certain circumstances where if we prearrange for you to email me something, then that's okay. So if you we agree, you talk to me, and I agree, I say email me whatever the assignment is, and you do that, then that's fine. But anything other than that, I will not accept any assignments by email. Office hours, since we are meeting virtually, I don't know if I have to set. Normally we have appointment hours that we set, specific hours, and I'm not sure. I need to check to see if that's something I need to do. If I need to set actual hours, I'll set that out. I'll let you know later and send the sheet out with office hours. But right now, it'll be by appointment. We'll have plenty of time because the way the class is set up, some of the time is spent where we actually do a live lecture. There's required meetings, and a lot of stuff you'll do on your own. So during that, some of that other time where you'll have stuff that you do on your own, we can set up either by phone we can talk, or if it's something that you need help with as far as a problem, then we can actually link by video and we can go over work that way. So I'm going to leave it here now that my office hours are by appointment, and if that changes, then I'll let you know and I'll send out the scheduled hours if I need to do that. There is a textbook for the course. Hopefully you got the text. If you didn't get the text, you want to make sure you get it this week. The text is available at the Cincinnati State Bookstore. I'm not sure if you're allowed to go up to campus, but I do know you can go online and you can order the textbook. And so what I'll do is at some point between now and tomorrow, I'm recording this on Sunday, May 31st. And our class is tomorrow. So at some point I'll send you some information to where you can it'll have the URL for the bookstore. So just be aware there are two books that you need. There is the textbook, this Principles of Electric Circuits. Make sure it's the conventional current, the conventional flow book. If you get it from the bookstore, it'll be the correct one. But sometimes I have students get it online and it's not the correct one. So we're using the conventional current flow, and I'll explain in class what is meant by that term, conventional current. There's also a lab manual that you'll need. Now, you won't need that this week because we won't have a lab this week, and I'll say more in the video lecture about the lab tomorrow, but you do want to get the lab manual and the textbook. In addition, there is a digital analog trainer that you will need, and again, this is available at the bookstore and it's also available online. I'm going to recommend, some of you may have already gotten it. If you do, that's fine. If you didn't, I'm going to recommend you go ahead and get it online, only because the bookstore, it's a pretty hefty markup in the bookstore. So if you already got it from the bookstore, I would go ahead and keep it. Some of you had financial aid pay for it. But if you haven't gotten the digital analog trainer yet, then you may want to get it online and save almost $100, if not more. So again, I'll have more to say about that also in our lecture tomorrow. In addition to the trainer, which you will need that trainer to do labs, but in addition to that, there's a parts kit, and we actually provide you with the parts kit. Now that you'll go up to the school, I'll give you the room number and the day and time you can go up there. And those will be the electrical components that we need to use with this digital trainer to complete the labs. And then you'll need a multimeter. Now this multimeter is something that you will purchase. Dr. Whaley, the EET chair, has a model of meter that he suggests, and I'm going to give that information tomorrow. It would be nice if we all had the same meter so that when we're learning to use it, if I talk about the meter, we all have the same model, then it makes it a little easier to discuss. But actually any multimeter will do. You do want to get a digital meter and not an analog. So you want to get one that doesn't have a needle on it. You want one with a digital display. So there's two types. There's analog meters and digital meters. Most meters are digital, so you shouldn't have any trouble. But if you want to buy one kind of right away and you don't want to get the one that I'm going to suggest or that was suggested by Dr. Welly, you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot, and they will definitely sell inexpensive multimeter at I bought one at Lowe's. I think it might have been, it was $20 or less. So they do have them there if it's something you don't want to wait for. That will be the most important piece of equipment that you'll use in your career. You'll use that. It's a simple device, but you'll use it in so many different ways. So make sure you don't need it again. You don't need anything right away, nothing this week, but you do want to think about the trainer, and when I'll let you know when you can get the component parts, and then the meter. You can send for that, or you can buy one at a hardware. And again, I'll give you more information on that tomorrow. My grade scale, it's just a normal 10-point grade scale. I do not curve. I don't curve the class at all. But what I will do is I'll give you, I do two things. I drop a couple quizzes, your lowest score. That helps out a little bit. And I give extra credit assignments that can help you out if you do them. So normal 10-point scale. You will have right, this is normally what I would do during a 15-week semester. I'll give 4 exams, and this thing is that now we have a 10-week semester, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out. So we'll see. We'll just kind of play this by ear. We'll plan on 4. But I don't know if I can squeeze 4 in there or not. It might be 3. We'll see, and I might have to make some adjustments to this. This is my first time not doing teaching by remote, but this is my first time doing 15 weeks of material in 10 weeks. They made the times longer, but they made the number of weeks shorter, so that may take some adjustment on my part. So we'll see. We'll work it out. So plan on at least 3 exams. I'll try to stick to the 4. I think the more exams, the better, because it's easier to study smaller chunks of information than it is a whole bunch of stuff together. But we'll see how that works out. You will have a quiz every week. And it says here lab reports. There really isn't a report, but you'll see when you get your lab manual, there is a place where you can write your data, write an abstract and conclusion, and show calculations. So that's what's meant here by a report. There's no actual report you draw, but you will you'll see when you get your lab book, and I'll say more about that. So a lot of this you can just read yourself. Just talk about my office hour policy, and then give you an overview of the course. So here's some of the stuff we'll talk about. I'm not going to bore you with the details of this. So we'll cover in the book chapters 1 through 13 in some shape or form. And what I do is I divide this into chunks I call modules. So when you go on the Blackboard, you'll see that. And just so make sure at some point you read the syllabus, and if you have any questions when we meet by video, you can ask me about it. So that is the syllabus. And then the other important thing here are these modules. So right now I have module 1 up because we're just starting. And every couple of weeks, I'll divide the material up in these modules, and every couple of weeks, weekly I'll update each module, but every couple of weeks I'll add a new module. So this one is introductory concepts. So if I go into here, you'll see June 1st, 2020. That's our class tomorrow. If I go into there, you'll see all the documents that you need for module 1. Now, a couple things you will need, and I'm going to send an announcement out here in a second, but you will need the ability to print. I'm not saying you need a printer, but you have to have access to a printer some kind of way, because there are some documents. You can't do everything typing in the Word. This class has a lot of calculations in it. You have to write out problems and draw pictures. So you'll need some kind of way that you can print out a paper, draw on that paper, and send it back to me. And so I'll have a way for you to convert your work to a PDF file and submit it to Blackboard, but you guys have to have the ability to print. So there'll be a few things in my announcement that I'll mention that you will need, and so make sure you take a look at that. And if you have any questions, you can ask me about it during the video session. So hopefully, you guys, if you have any questions, hopefully everything I said here was clear. I just wanted to show you Blackboard, introduce myself, and I'll send out an announcement with some stuff that you'll need for class. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.